Welcome to the Coaching to Flourish podcast. I'm your host, John Andrew Williams. Today, we are here with Alejandra Ascenzo. It's been a long week, but a good week. Ali is one of our trainers here at Coach Training EDU, and also is living in Mexico City, originally from South America, and one of the people who is going to be leading our life coach training when we put it into Spanish, which is probably set to roll out 2021. She's also a new mom, and we're excited to have her. So happy to have her on staff here at Coach Training EDU. Ali, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me today. I'm very excited.
Me too. This has been something that we've been looking at, a long time coming in terms of, what we as an organization are trying to, grow, expand, reach more people. And let's start with your story. How did you, where did you grow up? What were the big influences and how do they impact you today?
Well, I'm from Peru. I'm from Lima, Peru, which is the capital city from Peru. My biggest influence is always going to be my family. I had a really nice childhood, so I can complain about that. I was very happy. I have an only sister, and we grew up like very close. Then I got two other brothers who I love. But for most of my childhood, they were my sister and I, so we are like super close together. I went to actually a German school. That's funny. I went to.
Did you speak German? Do you have German too?
Yeah. Yeah, it was very tough about discipline. So I think that's also something that very influenced me about discipline. And actually after school, I wanted to become an actress.
Okay.
Yeah, when we started, I wanted to become an actress. And then that was funny because once when we were in a class with you, I remember that you talked about coaching coming from acting too. So that was very nice. I think that connected a lot. I didn't actually become an actress. I studied international commerce and administration. And actually, I took my acting part so far away because I became into the corporate world. I started very young. I started working at a German company when I was 17. That's also funny because I was not able to get paid. My mom had to get paid for me because I was too young to work. And I really liked it. I loved working. I really like relating with other people. I'm very social about that. It was not hard for me to work. It wasn't hard for me actually to be in the corporate world. I really got really nice jobs there. I became the youngest one in a regional team that I really liked. I had the opportunity to travel a lot around South America, but always got this feeling that I wanted to work with people more than in a company. So looking for that in my journey, I actually resigned that job and tried to look forward to human resources or something where I can impact on people. I work with very good companies in human resources. And then actually I jumped into a business school looking for career coaching. I started like doing career coaching and counseling without actually knowing how I can impact so much on people on that. And it was very mind-blowing for me because I related with the students there and I loved it. I think that was one of the jobs I loved the most. And then they asked me to go back to the corporate world. And that's how I end in Santiago in Chile. But I knew it wasn't me. I had a different calling. So I started to research this coaching experience. I did coaching myself, like I received coaching myself. And for me, it was a huge experience in my own development. So that's how I ended here.
What was it about the corporate world that you felt, what was it about the corporate world that you know it wasn't for you?
Probably it's not all the corporate world, but my experience in there was this big objective they have. They have this big goal about achieving income.
Right.
And that's a thing that wasn't for me. I think for me it's more about people and how people can develop. If you have a different main goal, but as a result you get some income, good. But I don't like that it's the main goal for the companies that I work for.
Right.
And it wasn't my own goal. I think people is first for me.
And how do you see a coaching working in the corporate world, or what do you see? Like, if you would love to, if you could see the corporate world adopt core coaching concepts, which concepts would you like them to adopt first?
That's the hope window that I have with coaching.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because I feel like you can turn this around. If you have this coaching with the biggest main strategic leaders, and you really get them to know themselves and to know what they can do with their team as people, I'm 100% sure that they're not only to get the income goal, but they're gonna be the best company in their, I don't know how you say it, in your
Field.
yeah, in the
Competition. Yeah.
exactly because it's I have this belief that if people knows themselves and know their team and everybody is able to connect as people, you're gonna be able to not only get the goals or get the results you're looking for, but going beyond that.
Right. And this differs from organization to organization. Like, some organizations are way more oriented towards people growth and get it, and other organizations aren't. And I think, I think they suffer because of it.
Yeah, and I think that in Latin America especially, I don't know other regions, but for me in Latin America, I think the real companies that take care of people first are not much.
Okay.
There are few companies right now.
Yeah, most of the corporations I've worked with have been in the US or Europe or the Middle East. And there have been, I think there has been a number of organizations in the US that have really embraced coaching on a deep level and really have focused on the people. One of the things that some of the coaching leaders have found, which I found exciting, is there's actual resistance to coaching and resistance to this people first policy, which I find mind blowing to me that there would be resistance. But it's the same thing in education. Like, when you want to put an education, let's say you would go to a school and say, we have this coaching initiative where we want to train your students to be coaches and have peer mentor coaching and have, coaching culture and influence everything. Students, teachers, and parents, there are groups of them that don't want to go along with that.
Yeah, they're kind of
I
don't know how you say it, but yeah, they are resistant to that. And I think it's normal
Right.
because I don't know, again, it's in my experience, but I think that coaching has been woo-woo.
Has been what? Woo woo?
Yeah, it's like
Totally. There's a definite element of woo.
underneath
Yeah.
the what you can do with coaching, and that's sad because I'm all the way into this, I don't know, I call it disruptive coaching because I want to do something that is completely different as the people already experience, because I think that coaching is so good for people in general, for companies, for corporate, and as you said, people as resistant because probably they experienced something about coaching that it wasn't really meaningful for them, probably.
Right. I mean, especially if a coach is using a really, trite uh, set of, coaching, just a super well used or overly used
Mm-hmm.
procedure, a coaching procedure. Like, where do you want to go? How you feel? What's stopping you? What do you need to get there? Like, just almost a cliche coaching session can ruin someone's experience of what coaching is.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot.
how do you see or how do you see that shifting? Because I know it has to shift. Because my theory is that if something works and coaching works, it's not a matter of if it's going to be adopted. It's a matter of when and how. How do you see attitudes around coaching shifting in the last couple of years?
I I see that it's shifting, but it's also because of how you approach the person. I think that's the important part. You are not able, I don't believe in a pre-made coaching session. You need to work with each person differently. And also for corporations, I believe I've worked with companies that do coaching in corporations. And as you say, this cliche coaching or this ready to deliver coaching that is pre-made and it's in a box, like I do it in the same way in every company. It's what is not working. I think that when you approach to a corporation or a company to do something tailor-made because you have some insights or you have spoken with the strategy and you know the strategy of the company and you believe in that, you can create a tailor-made um, project with them. And I think that's what is working and that's what is shifting. People is learning that you are not able to just plug and play some coaching project. You need to create one.
I have a dear friend. She works as a corporate coach for a very large U.S. corporation, and her role is to go in and work with basically former CEOs who now work in this organization. And her thing is that what was once woo-woo 10 years ago is now essential. And it's not just woo-woo now, but they can now put numbers to it because they can associate when a team comes together and works with a coach and goes and talks about energy, talks about what's the feel of the room, what's the feel of this meeting, what's the energetic tone, things like that. Used to be this nebulous. We don't need to talk about feelings, but it turns out when people do, that team produces better than the team that doesn't. And the team that doesn't often has internal conflict. There's a lot of messiness that with no strategy to pick it up. So it's happening. Like it's not. It's she said like the way she puts it is the woo woo is new new, something like that. Like it's like it's all embrace it kind of thing. And this is a major. I mean, this is a major U.S. corporation that is like, think in the realm of like IBM, Microsoft, that kind of corporation. Uh, and part of it is, I think what's part of it is changing is that the competition in the corporate world A lot of people look at that as a negative, and there are some negative aspects to it. And in this sense that if coaching is working in one organization, the corporate world was responsible for developing coaching because other organizations would adopt it. And they go, whoa, what are they doing? Oh, they're working, every executive is working with a coach. Let's go do that. And so much of the ICF is really established around and puts parameters around corporate coaching. What's the awareness of the ICF in Latin America and South America? And you were in, is it Peru, then Chile, and then now you're in Mexico City?
Yeah.
What are you seeing as the awareness of the ICF in Latin America?
I think that it's very important to have a certification for at least in Latin America. It's a must.
Right.
And I think it comes before becoming a coach. I think I've seen different situations that you are a coach and then you get certificate. But I think for Latin America, it's super important that if you are going to perform coaching as a professional in the corporate world or in the personal world or academic world, you need to have certification. We are I think the people need to see that you have a paper that validates that you are qualified for that. I think it's good, and also think that it's not. I don't believe that certifications make you a coach. I think you need to have part of passion and believe what you're doing. Also training like we had, but for Latin America, it's very important to have a certification. And I think I've heard about the ICF before, but I didn't heard as much as I'm learning right now that I already I'm on the process to get certificate.
It feels to me very exciting. Like when I look at just the number of coach organizations, that offer coaching in Spanish, or coach organizations that are there aren't many yet, but yet I know it's coming. I know there's a flood of them that are going to be there, which is great for the profession. It's necessary. Where do you see this 10 years from now?
I think that there is quite companies that do coaching right now, and they've been doing it for a long time. Most of the people that does coaching that I know is people that has like 10, 15 years doing it. And I think as we've been talking about, it's changing. The way we do coaching is changing. And I like it because it's shifting the way we coach, and it's shifting the way we let us know in the world, like in the corporate world, like how we are known as coaches is, as you said, new, and no, not anymore like woo, and how we can impact, and it's giving results. It's giving results, and I really want to see that Latin America does not have to hire coaches in the US to do that, because we are looking forward to become a bigger community for the corporate world. I feel like sometimes the companies prefer to hire someone that is in the US or Europe, because again, you are a little bit ahead of us, even like why I'm here, right? Because I believe I didn't find the right place for me, especially. I know that there is really good schools and really good training programs, but for me, what I was looking for, I had to look in coach training EDU.
We are working to actively change that. I know that we have a plan in place to start getting everything getting all the materials translated into Spanish, and it's really exciting to see it, to see this come to fruition this way. You also just had a little one.
Yeah.
Your first little one.
Yeah.
What How did the experience of being a new mom influence your like your ideas around coaching, and how did coaching influence being a new mom?
I think the first way that coaching influenced my motherhood, to say it that way, is about uncertainty. I've been very, I am the type of person that sometimes wants to control everything. So this process prepared me to flow with uncertainty, because you never you are not able to control a baby and how it grows and how it develops. It's like every day a different thing and a different adventure and learning. So I think I'm putting in practice a lot of the tools that I've learned in coaching into my motherhood, for myself at least, because I think flowing is one of the things that I practice the most, and I love it. I love it. And also for coaching, I think that this experience puts me in a patient place. Like I feel more patient, I feel more calm. I am used to be running around all the time. And this year, I think also the year that we're going through taught me to just calm down and feel what is going on, and feel it and embrace it. I'm a little bit tired. I have to be true with you. Like having a baby, it's always a little bit tired. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think embracing the moment is it's something that I love the most.
Yeah, I know how the tired parent thing, especially our first. It just we didn't quite get the sleep thing down until the second. It's way easier, um, usually. Uh, One of my favorite things to do, Ali, with little ones, is listen level two, like even to infants, and go level two with them for like just 10 minutes at a time. Just treat them like like they like as if they were a client. They have their own language. Um, how has parenting influenced your coaching?
I think again the patience. I think as you know, as you say, she doesn't talk it yet. So I think I hear more. I am listening more. I'm taking some spaces more than before. And I think Martina is so smart that I just believe and that she has everything to develop their self. At first, when I was expecting her, I read all the books about developing babies and everything that you have to do because of the months and everything. But when she arrived, I was like, I don't need so many things. I just need to see her develop herself. And that space let me like blow a little bit my mind with my own clients, because we talk about it. We talk about the client and that he has all the resources to develop themselves and we need to trust our client. But I didn't experience that much about it until I got Martina.
And babies hold such sweet space. Like
Yeah.
there's a little bubble of hope and joy, and in the midst of all the wild, tough news of the world, you just look at that little baby and go, "There's hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's happiness here."
Yeah. Even though you haven't slept all night, she just smiles at you at 5 a.m. and that's it.
It's okay. You're like, it's okay. Yeah, last we have a 1-year-old, so he's now 14 months now. Um, and we have the same kind of thing, two older girls and two younger boys. So, and the two girls get along really well. And I hope they will say what you said about their childhood. Got a really happy childhood. Got along with my sister, and then the two boys came. Like, kind of feels like that.
Yeah.
But sleep is premium. Sleep is a big deal. You know, it's a big deal. How do you think, like, you know, in this realm of coaching and like where you see younger generations, where do you see, because I mean, there's a lot of hope. I've had, there's a lot of hope in this sort of idea of empathetic listening and really connecting with the people and developing the person first. And then, you know, if the idea of if you develop the person, then the goal is the success, everything else follows. Where do you see that playing into the way that education will shift to incorporate these ideas and then move this forward into the business world? Like, where do you see that happening? Is that even in the parenting? I know it's early, but in the parenting conversation and education, there was a project we were looking at doing with the University of Mexico 4 or 5 years ago. Really, this big project didn't go, but really working on coaching skills. Like, where do you see the flavor of education where you're at and its openness or not openness to coaching concepts?
I think it's coming. I think also new generations are more open to talk about themselves. I think that it has to be, it got to be like that. Like normally, I don't know if it's Latin America about our culture or something, but I think people used to believe that talking about themselves was weak or showing weakness or something like that. So I believe that new generations, or I don't want to talk about my generation, but younger people, it's more open. It's more open to know and to talk about themselves and to be vulnerable and to practice about this. So I feel like it's coming in education, and it's going to be more common on the years to go. I believe that coaching is not going to be so behind the curtains, but people is going to talk more about it, about parenting too. I think in a parenting conversation, i I really like my experience with coaching as the client and as the coach. So that's why I believe I promote it in every conversation that I have, because I really believe in that, and I really can see the results in my clients and in myself, in not only in the business part or like the work part or professional part, but also in the personal part. I think that be open to have these kind of conversations where you are judgment free and the conversation is super kind. It's also something that we need more as humans. I don't know if I am going too far, but I believe that kind conversation is what we need, and this environment let people have that kind of conversations.
That is the heart of what we're trying to do with this coaching organization and coaching in general, to really spread the field of coaching. As I see it, it's empathetic listening, is active empathetic listening, not just empathetic listening, but also taking action with it. I feel sometimes that the weight of current, of, you know, old culture ideas just crumbling, you know, and this ability for us to share all these ideas really quickly is accelerating that process. This will be a big year, Ali. Let's see if we can get, you know, get Spanish up and running early 2021. You know, maybe even to end of 2020. Let's see if we, like, how quickly we can get through this.
I'm waiting for this. I'm so excited. We need this.
Yeah,
We need this. I think we need to spread this in Spanish. It's, I'm sure we're gonna do great things in Latin America.
a guiding principle. I mean, I started this thing as a high school teacher. I mean, I taught high school, and I found coaching very similar to you. I was coached first and thought, this is amazing. I need to do this. And one of the guiding principles of coach training EDU has always been, how can we make the biggest impact? How can we make the most positive, biggest impact on these fields of education, wellness, and executive world? And then let's do that. let's work to that and trust that the financial stability and all of that will follow. And so far it has. I mean, it's this thing where I feel like if you make coaching a movement, then the external supports will be there to help support the movement. What do you see as the tipping point in terms of coaching and as a culture? Like, where do you see the cultural tipping point? Or what's the milestone that will let you know that, yes, coaching is being adopted on a wider scale?
I think when we see a shift on people, on how they feel about talking with kindness and about talking of these old, as you said, there is this kind of beliefs culturally that are crumbling. And I feel like if we can impact these people, I want to impact as much as I can on people. But if we do this movement on training people to be empathetic and to promote this kindness communication and this kind shift into corporate world or schools that is so important, I'm sure we're going to be able to just I think the shift is the milestone is that you're going to see people talking differently to each other, and we're going to see companies talking to each other differently, and we're going to see, for me, I see my own people talking differently. I see my clients, I see my fellow students, I see my fellow trainers trying to make impact the same as I am trying to make it with their own clients. So we are doing it. I'm seeing it right now. I just wanna see it bigger and trying to see more people doing it. But I think if we have these conversations and we see other people having kind conversations, that's a good milestone that we are going in the right way.
And JP, Juan Pablo, from Santiago, Chile, has us a comment about coaching organizations and desire for more focus on people, not just profit.
Yeah. So it's not only me that I'm feeling like that, and I'm sure there is a lot of people feeling the same in Latin America, and I know there's a lot of people that want to change that. I think this disruptive coaching, it's a really good movement.
Yeah, it's like disruptive kindness. Like,
yeah,
you're so kind that it's abnormal. It's not, and that's sad. I feel like a lot of the social movements happening in the US, it's about basic human kindness, full stop. And why is this even controversial? Is like, why is this not yet, there? Like, why are we not yet? It's 2020. Why are we not yet there?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it's moving fast, and that's also my hope.
Mm-hmm.
That we're moving to that faster with this kindness, and people is waking up about everything.
I feel it too. What advice would you have for someone just starting out the life coach training journey?
Let yourself go with the flow. I think the best thing about doing the training is to let yourself experience the coaching journey.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was incredible. Like the coaching journey, wasn't the perfect timing for me. So just let yourself go with the coaching. Trust yourself because you got it. If you are here in this training, it's because you know this is a place you want to be. And it's important to trust yourself with the journey.
One of our favorite sayings that Moist and I've collected on this journey of life is her dad once said, you have to release yourself to the game. You just have to allow yourself to play the game. And I feel like, yeah, that brings that to mind. Just
Yeah. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. I think that was one of the most impressive lessons that I got in the training. To allow myself to be vulnerable with my class. And it was amazing.
Because vulnerability doesn't necessarily mean fragility.
No.
And there is a strength in vulnerability. And kindness doesn't mean weakness. And I think that's what as a society, we're now waking up to that.
Yes.
Kindness is powerful. And empathetic listening is, it feels counterintuitive that empowering someone else is probably the strongest thing you could do. And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And when you see it, and you see someone that you are empowering to become what they're always wanted to be, and you see them rise, I think for me, it's the most impactful moments with my clients.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely kept me going when I was building my own coaching practice. The individual sessions with people were the kind of things where I would feel so energized, so excited about the change that was happening in their lives, that it made me realize, wow, like this is something that I would do regardless of whatever, like the finances, whatever. It just, this is, and it just got me even more fired up to keep going again. And I think that's the hardest journey I see that new coaches have, is from going from 0 to 5 clients, so that they can at least have a consistent flow of client sessions to remind them very quickly, very powerfully, why they're doing what they're doing. We have to stop, and there's time. We have time things, and I know as a new parent how precious time is, and just really appreciate you're taking the time to chat on the Coaching and Flourish blog. And other participants, thank you. For other people listening, thank you for listening here. Those who are listening to the recording, thank you for being a part of this larger community. We'll have these conversations weekly in the Coaching and Flourish podcast. Thank you, everyone, and I will see you next time.